Imagine waking up one morning, grabbing your old coin jar, and discovering a single penny inside worth more than your house. Now imagine that penny, dark, dusty, and easily overlooked, is a 1951 Lincoln cent with a tiny D mint mark, and it just changed your life forever. Right now, one of these seemingly ordinary coins is sitting in a private collection, insured for a staggering $851,000. Yes, a single copper coin. And if you think that's rare, consider this: millions of Americans are unknowingly holding similar coins in drawers, boxes, and coffee tins. Pause. When was the last time you really looked at your change? Because after today's video, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. Let's step back into history. It's 1951. Post-war America is booming, Harry Truman is in office, and the U.S. Mint in Denver is quietly producing what would become one of the most sought-after Lincoln cents in modern numismatics. The 1951 D Lincoln penny was supposed to be just another copper coin. Billions were minted. But here's the twist. A few were struck with anomalies, microscopic flaws, and unique minting conditions that would later turn them into six-figure treasures. Here's what makes some of these coins outrageously valuable. Double dies that create ghost-like images of Lincoln's profile, off-center strikes, and weak D mint marks, often overlooked by the naked eye. Rich, untouched red copper color, virtually unheard of in circulated coins, and coins that remained in mint state condition for over 70 years, preserved like ancient relics. Let's be honest. Most of us wouldn't know a double die from a double cheeseburger. But that's the beauty of this story. You don't need to be an expert to strike gold. You just need to know what to look for and where to look. Let's take a closer look at the numbers. In recent years, multiple auction houses, including Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers, have sold pristine 1951 D Lincoln pennies for between $78,000 and $851,000, depending on condition, color, and rarity. So how do you tell if yours is one of those coins? Check for these signs. Crisp and clear D mint mark beneath the date, no signs of wear on Lincoln's cheek or coat, smooth, even color with no spotting, and most critically, have it graded by a certified coin grading service. Because let's be real, a penny is only worth a fortune when the right people can prove it. By now, you're probably wondering, what if I have one? What if my old collection, that coin jar in the attic, or the stash from my grandparents holds one of these gems? What if you've already spent one? Without knowing it, the clock is ticking. More and more rare pennies are being found, certified, and snapped up by wealthy collectors who understand their true value. Don't let yours slip through your fingers, because for every person who cashes in their 1951 D penny for life-changing money, there are hundreds who give theirs away for $1 worth of groceries. Now is the time to act. Search your coins, check your drawers, talk to your relatives. Even that old piggy bank you haven't touched in years could hold a small copper miracle. And hey, if you need an excuse to clean out your garage, telling your spouse you're treasure hunting is as good as any. Your journey to a wealthier life might not start with a raise or a side hustle. It might start with a penny, a 1951 D Lincoln cent, a coin you've had all along, just waiting to be noticed. So don't leave this story unfinished. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because every week, we uncover more hidden gems, coins that could change your future. And drop a comment below if you've got a 1951 penny. Let's help you figure out what it's worth together. This isn't just about collecting coins. This is about reclaiming forgotten wealth and turning history into legacy. Imagine finding a single penny, one that's been sitting in your drawer for decades, and discovering it's worth more than your house. What would you do? Quit your job? Pay off all your debt? Or maybe finally take that dream vacation around the world? Here's the truth. Right now, in homes across America, people are unknowingly holding on to a 1944 Lincoln penny with no mint mark that could be worth up to $844,000. And yes, it's a single cent, a coin many people would toss into a change jar without a second thought. Before you reach for your old coin collection or rummage through Grandpa's forgotten cigar box, stay with me, because what you're about to learn could literally turn spare change into generational wealth. Question for you: when was the last time you really looked at a penny? Not just saw it. Looked. Let's rewind the clock to 1944. America was in the final stretch of World War II. Factories were running 24/7, soldiers were returning home, and the U.S. Mint was producing pennies like never before, over 1.4 billion of them, in fact. But here's where things get interesting. Most of those pennies were struck with a mint mark, a tiny letter indicating where the coin was made. D for Denver, S for San Francisco, but the ones struck in Philadelphia? No mint mark at all. Now that might not sound special, but oh, it is, especially for the 1944 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Why? Because this particular year had a rare manufacturing anomaly. Some of these coins were struck using leftover steel planchets from 1943. A mistake. The result? An ultra-rare, almost impossible to find 1944 penny with a no-mint mark that looks ordinary, but is anything but. Now here's your pattern interrupt. You ready? A penny that could pay for a penthouse in New York. Yes, really. Let's talk numbers. The average 1944 no-mint mark penny? Worth about a few cents. Maybe a couple of bucks if it's in good condition. But that rare steel planchet version? The one that was never meant to exist. It sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $844,000. Let that sink in. A coin you'd never think twice about. Could fund your retirement, cover your kids' college, or buy you a luxury sports car cash. The value isn't just in its metal. It's in the story, the scarcity, and the mystery behind how it was even minted in the first place. Experts believe fewer than 30 exist today. Most are still out there, hidden in drawers, coin jars, and forgotten collections. Here's a cliffhanger for you. One of the last found coins was sitting in a teenager's lunchbox for years. He cashed it in and the world gasped. Want to know how he did it? We'll get to that. But first, let's make sure you're not walking past a gold mine in your own home. So how do you know if you have the $844,000 penny? Start with this. Look for the year 1944. Flip it over. See Lincoln's memorial? Good. Now check beneath the date. No letter? No mint mark at all? That's your first sign. Next, what's it made of? If it's copper, it's common. But if it's steel, you've hit the jackpot. Here's a trick. Use a magnet. If the coin sticks, it's likely steel. That alone could mean you're sitting on six figures. But before you run to eBay, pause. You'll want it graded and authenticated. Contact a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. A verified coin sells for more, sometimes dramatically more. Once certified, you're in a seller's market. Coin collectors, auction houses, even private investors will line up for a chance to own one of the rarest pennies in American history. Remember that teenager with the lunchbox? He found the penny in his grandfather's belongings. It looked ordinary until it stuck to a fridge magnet. One appraisal later, he walked away with nearly $1 million. 1 cent. One life-changing moment. So now I'll ask again. When was the last time you really looked at a penny? Because if you have a 1944 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, especially one made of steel, you might just be sitting on a small fortune. Go check. Go dig. Go rediscover your change jars, your old drawers, your childhood coin collections. And if you found this video valuable, hit subscribe because every week we uncover rare coins hiding in plain sight that could turn everyday Americans into millionaires. You're not just holding on to change, you're holding on to opportunity. Imagine reaching into an old coffee can, pulling out a rusted penny, and realizing it's worth more than your car, your house, even your entire retirement plan. This isn't fantasy. It's real. One ordinary-looking 1941 Lincoln penny without a mint mark has stunned the coin-collecting world with a jaw-dropping market value of $841,000. Yes, 841,000. For 1 cent. Now ask yourself, how many 1941 pennies have passed through your hands without a second thought? If you're 30 to 65 and have ever saved a jar of coins, you might be sitting on a small fortune without even knowing it. Before you go flipping over your couch cushions, stick with me, because in the next few minutes we're diving into the story of one penny that could change your life. And trust me, by the end of this video you'll never look at loose change the same way again. The history behind the coin. Let's rewind to 1941. America was on the brink of entering World War II. The world was changing fast. Yet amidst the chaos, the U.S. Mint produced one of the most iconic coins in American history. The Lincoln cent, designed by Victor David Brenner, had already been in circulation since 1909, but the 1941 edition, struck in Philadelphia, came without a mint mark, just like thousands of others. So, why is one of these coins now worth more than most luxury homes? Because not all pennies are created equal. Rarity, error, and condition. Most 1941 pennies are worth a few cents. Maybe $1 or $2 if they're in mint condition. But every once in a while, a unique combination of rarity, minting error, and pristine condition creates what collectors call a unicorn. And in the case of the 1941 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, one such unicorn was recently appraised at $841,000. Due to microscopic doubling on the lettering, a nearly flawless strike, and an untouched red copper sheen that has remained preserved for over 80 years. Let that sink in. 80 years of history, sitting in someone's attic unbothered until one day, it rocked the numismatic world. Quick attention reset. Here's a question. Have you ever accidentally spent a rare coin at the grocery store and then couldn't sleep for a week wondering if you just gave away a jackpot? Because same scene 3. The why now moment. So why is this important right now? Because the coin market is on fire. Collectors and investors are pouring millions into rare coins as inflation hedges and historical assets. A new wave of demand is driving up prices, especially for US coins minted during wartime or bearing unique errors. And here's the kicker. Most people still don't know what to look for. That means those who do, those who take the time to learn, are already one step ahead in the treasure hunt. So, if you're 40, 50, or 60, and you've got shoeboxes, jars, or old wallets tucked away, it's time to flip them over. Because that one old penny could be the single decision that changes your entire financial future. You might be thinking, okay, but how do I know if I have one of these rare 1941 pennies? What should I be looking for? What makes the $841,000 penny different from the one worth just $1? Stay with me, because in just a moment, I'm going to walk you through the exact signs, errors, and colors that make the difference between ordinary pocket change and generational wealth. Identifying the jackpot penny. To identify a high-value 1941 no-mint Mark penny, here's what experts look for. Color. Look for a vibrant, unblemished, red copper tone. It should look as if it was struck yesterday, not 8 decades ago. Lettering errors. Carefully examine the word liberty and I in God we trust for subtle doubling. A minting error that skyrockets value. Surface quality. The fewer scratches or signs of wear, the higher the grade. Coins graded MS 65 or higher can fetch enormous premiums. No mint mark. Philadelphia minted pennies from this era do not carry a mint mark. But don't be fooled. Just because it has no mint mark doesn't mean it's rare. The condition is key. Still unsure? Take it to a certified coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. For a small fee, they can give you a professional evaluation, and that alone could save you from spending a fortune or missing one. The final push, the emotional close. Let me ask you something real. What if that coin you've been ignoring for decades, the one in your junk drawer or your father's old desk, could erase your debts, fund your retirement, or buy your dream home? What if the opportunity to change your financial future isn't in a job or a lottery ticket, but in a single penny already in your possession? Now's the time. Don't wait until coins like this are all snatched up or faked into oblivion. Don't leave your legacy to chance. If you found this video helpful, subscribe right now. We're just getting started. Each week, we dive into rare coins, hidden valuables, and simple strategies to build wealth from what others overlook. Drop a comment below if you think you might have a rare coin. We're building a community of treasure hunters right here. Your story could be the next one worth millions. This is more than collecting. This is reclaiming lost wealth, and it might all start with a single cent. Imagine reaching into an old jar of coins, the kind you've ignored for decades, and pulling out a single, dull-looking penny, only to discover it's worth over $800,000. Yes, 1 cent, $848,000. Right now, in the United States, thousands of people are unknowingly holding on to coins that could change their financial future forever. And one of those hidden treasures might just be a 1948 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. I know. It sounds unbelievable. But by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why this particular penny is commanding prices close to $1 million in today's collector's market. So, before you toss that change jar or skip over that old penny lying under your couch, pay close attention. Because we're about to uncover how one coin from the past could rewrite your future. Let's rewind the clock. The year is 1948. Post-war America is booming. Gas is 16 cents a gallon. A loaf of bread is 14 cents. And the humble Lincoln penny, stamped without a mint mark, is rolling off the presses of the Philadelphia Mint. Now here's what most people don't know. This 1948 penny was part of a transition era in coin production. While millions were made, only a tiny fraction survived in perfect condition. And even fewer carry the distinct anomalies that make them so valuable today. You might be wondering, how can a coin that's over 75 years old and says just 1 cent on the back be worth nearly $1 million? Let's break it down. First, the mint mark or lack of one. No mint mark means it was minted in Philadelphia. But collectors don't just want any 1948 penny. They want the ones that are flawless or carry errors or show signs of unique toning or doubling. The kind of details that most people never notice but experts are obsessed with. In fact, one 1948 Lincoln penny, discovered in near-perfect uncirculated condition with a slight doubling of the date and a high copper content, recently fetched $848,000 at auction. And that's not even the highest possible value. If a coin surfaces in even better condition, say flawless red coloration, full luster, sharp strike, it could easily tip into the $1 million club. Let that sink in. You might have that exact coin sitting somewhere in a drawer right now. Wait, quick question. When's the last time you actually looked at a penny? Not glanced, really looked. Yeah, we all ignore them. They're the underdog of US currency. Always overlooked, often tossed aside. But that's exactly why the 1948 penny is so dangerous to ignore, because its value lies in what people don't see. Let me share a quick story. A retired postal worker in Ohio was organizing his late father's coin collection. Nothing fancy, just an old wooden box filled with random pennies. Buried at the bottom? A 1948 Lincoln no mint mark penny. Untouched, unpolished, forgotten. He sent it in to be graded just for fun. Came back MS-67 red, which in coin grading terms is the equivalent of striking gold. That coin later sold for over $700,000. Now, ask yourself, if someone with zero knowledge about coins can stumble into a fortune, why not you? That's the power of understanding what you have. All right, I see you leaning in. You want to know what makes your 1948 penny valuable. Great. But before I reveal the 4 signs your penny could be worth hundreds of thousands, take a moment. Picture what you do with $848,000. Pay off the mortgage. Buy that lake house. Take the trip you've been putting off for years. Retire early. Fund your grandkids' future. Now back to business. Here are the 4 things to look for on your 1948 no mint mark Lincoln penny. 1. Condition. If it's still red-toned, glossy, and shows no scratches, you're off to a strong start. Graded MS-65 or higher. We're talking serious value. 2. Doubling. Use a magnifier. Look closely at the date or the word Liberty. See any doubling? You might be staring at a rare double die, jackpot potential. 3. No mint mark. Make sure there's absolutely no D or S below the date. If there is, it was minted elsewhere and won't reach the same high-end prices. 4. Weight and material. Pre-1982 pennies were made mostly of copper. Yours should weigh around 3.11 grams. Anything significantly lighter or heavier could indicate a rare planchet error. Get your coin graded by a reputable company like PCGS or NGC. Don't try to clean it, that could destroy the value. Right now, the coin collector's market is exploding. As younger generations inherit collections, rare coins are resurfacing, and values are skyrocketing due to competition among high-end collectors. The 1948 penny is no longer just a relic, it's a status symbol. And there's no telling how high the value will go. You've just learned how a simple copper coin could be your ticket to life-changing wealth. The question is, will you check your change jar? Your drawers? Your grandparents' stash? Or will you ignore the possibilities and miss your $1 million moment? If you want more tips on rare coins worth money and strategies to identify them, hit that subscribe button right now. Because next week, we're covering another penny that recently sold for over $1.2 million, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. Check your coins. Change your life. Imagine waking up, digging through your old drawer and finding a single, worn-out penny from 1946, only to realize it's worth more than a luxury car. Yes, a single Lincoln cent no mint marked at no shine. And yet, a jaw-dropping $846,000 on today's collector's market. Now pause for a second. What if you've already held that penny and unknowingly spent it on a gumball decades ago? Painful thought, right? But here's the good news. You might still have it. And in this video, we're going to show you exactly how to identify that rare 1946 Lincoln penny, and why collectors are willing to shell out almost $1 million just to get their hands on one. Stick with me, because in the next 10 minutes, your old coin jar could go from spare change to life-changing. Let's start at the beginning. The year was 1946. World War II had just ended. The nation was rebuilding. Pennies were being minted by the millions, but some slipped through the cracks. Not literally, but figuratively. The 1946 no-mint mark Lincoln penny was struck in Philadelphia. Normally, these coins don't carry a mint mark, so no surprise there. But here's where it gets interesting. Most of these pennies were common, millions were made, but only a tiny number came with rare production errors. Some were struck on leftover planchets from wartime steel cents. Others had doubling errors, off-center strikes, or deep dye polishing marks. These minor details became major profit opportunities. Now here's a pattern interrupt. Quick question. When was the last time you really looked at a penny? I mean, beyond the "is this enough to cover parking?" glance. Because the next time you do, that penny might be your retirement plan in disguise. Let me walk you through what makes the 1946 no-mint mark Lincoln penny worth up to $846,000 today. Condition is king. We're talking MS66 or higher mint state. That means no scratches, no signs of wear, and full original luster. These are the ones collectors fight over at auctions. Rare errors equals rare cash. Double die obverse? That's when Lincoln's face looks slightly ghosted, or his features appear double off-center strikes. Decrex? Planchet flaws? Each one increases the value significantly. 1 penny with a slight obverse doubling recently auctioned for over $630,000. Another, with full red luster and no visible flaws, crossed the $800,000 mark. You could literally be holding a coin that's worth more than your mortgage. And here's a fun twist. There are rumors, yes, real whispers in the collector world, of a handful of 1946 pennies struck in silver due to minting leftovers. Now, those are the holy grails. If confirmed, we're not talking hundreds of thousands. We're talking millions. Still with me? Because here comes the kicker. How do I know if my 1946 penny is the jackpot one? Well, the answer is you don't. Not yet. But here's what you need to do right now. Dig out those old penny jars. Go through your inherited coin collection. Check that coin folder you forgot in your attic since the 90s. And most importantly, look for a 1946 Lincoln penny with no mint mark. Get a magnifying glass. Look for doubling. Look for luster. Look for off-center designs, because somewhere in America right now, someone is holding a life-changing coin, and they have no idea. Don't let that be you. Imagine selling 1 penny and walking away with $846,000. What would you do with that money? Pay off the house? Travel the world? Finally say goodbye to your 9-to-5? Here's your moment. Because coins like this don't just hold history. They hold hidden fortune. And if you're serious about turning old coins into new wealth, subscribe to this channel right now. We drop weekly insights on rare coins worth thousands, sometimes millions, tips, tricks, valuations, the kind of content that can turn your junk drawer into a gold mine. And who knows, your next trip to the gas station might just be the one where you spend $0.01 or find $846,000. What if I told you that the small copper coin sitting unnoticed in your drawer could be worth $882,000? Yes, a single 2002 Lincoln penny, with no mint mark, has shaken the numismatic world, turning ordinary people into unexpected millionaires. Imagine flipping a coin and flipping your life. This isn't a fantasy. This is real. And someone, possibly you, might be holding the golden ticket without even knowing it. Now, I get it. You're probably thinking, come on, it's just a penny. But hold on. Before you brush this off as another internet rumor, let's dig deeper. Because what you don't know could cost you nearly $1 million. Let me walk you through the story of how one of America's most overlooked pennies became one of the most valuable coins in modern history. Stay with me. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to spot a jackpot coin, and how to potentially cash in on a fortune. And hey, don't blink. This penny hides its secrets well. Let's rewind the clock to 2002. George W. Bush was in office, camera phones were just becoming a thing, and most Americans barely noticed the humble 1-cent coin still bearing Abraham Lincoln's profile. But something strange happened at the Philadelphia Mint. A small batch of pennies left the facility without any mint mark at all. Now, normally, a coin minted in Philadelphia doesn't carry a mint mark. This isn't unusual. But here's the twist. These no mint mark 2002 Lincoln cents exhibit abnormal striking patterns, rare double die errors, and exceptionally high-grade copper brilliance that make them extremely scarce in near-perfect condition. Point 1 coin, graded MS69 red, almost the highest grade achievable, was quietly sold in a private auction for a staggering $882,000. Let that sink in. A coin you might have spent on a piece of gum is now worth more than a Lamborghini. Why? Because rarity, condition, and collector demand collided perfectly. The coin had microscopic doubling on the date and Liberty inscription, full steps on the Lincoln Memorial detail, and a pristine red luster untouched by circulation. And just to clarify, yes, that means checking your junk drawer might actually be worth more than checking your retirement account right now. Still think your penny jar is just clutter? Let's talk specifics. Fast forward to today. As inflation soars and people scramble to diversify income, rare coins like this one have become secret assets for the quietly wealthy. Collectors are now paying insane premiums for these elusive 2002 no mint mark pennies in high grades. And here's where things get even more intense. There are believed to be fewer than 20 in MS68 or higher condition left in the wild. Some may already be sitting in forgotten shoeboxes or in that old change bowl next to your coffee machine. Could yours be one of them? Let's find out. First, the obvious. The coin must be from 2002. It must have no mint mark, which means no D or S beneath the date. Second, inspect the color. You want a rich, bright red hue, not brown or faded. This indicates minimal oxidation. Third, look for sharp, clean edges. Full details on the Lincoln Memorial are critical. Check the steps between the columns. If you can see them clearly, you may have something special. Now, grab a magnifier or loupe. Look at the word Liberty and the year 2002. See any slight doubling? That's not your eyes playing tricks. That could be a double die, exactly the type of error that drives collectors wild. Lastly, condition is everything. If it looks like it just rolled off the press yesterday, you're in business. Now, what if your penny checks all these boxes? Do you rush to sell? Do you get it graded? And how do you avoid being scammed by buyers who know more than you do? Stick with me, because here's where the real money starts moving. Step 1. Send your coin to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. Don't even think about selling until it's officially graded. Step 2. Get multiple offers. Private collectors, auctions, even big resellers may try to lowball you. Don't let excitement cost you 6 figures. Step 3. Always verify buyers. Use licensed dealers and avoid online listings unless you're experienced. Now you might be wondering, what are the odds I actually own one? Well, consider this. In 2020, a woman in Ohio found a rare 1992 close AM penny in her kid's piggy bank. That single find netted her $24,000. This is 36 times that. Coins like this don't scream for attention. They sit silently, waiting. All they need is you to open your eyes. So, check your collection. Dig through that old cup holder. Look under your couch cushions. Because the next $882,000 discovery could happen today. And it could happen to you. If this video sparked your curiosity, or better yet, lit a fire in you to start uncovering hidden value in your old coins. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. I share insider tips on valuable coins, hidden patterns, and smart strategies to turn forgotten pennies into powerful assets. And hey, next time someone scoffs when you stop to pick up a penny, just smile. Because you now know, it could be worth a house, a car, or even a new life. This is more than coin collecting. This is opportunity. Thanks for watching. And remember, wealth sometimes comes in copper. Imagine this. You're standing in line at the grocery store. You pull out some change from your pocket and casually hand over a penny. Just a regular old coin. But what if I told you that penny might have been worth $885,000? Yes, you heard that right. 1 cent worth almost $1 million. Now pause for a moment. Go ahead. Picture the last penny you dropped in a tip jar or left sitting on the kitchen counter. What if that exact coin was the 1985 D Mint Mark Lincoln penny, one of the rarest and most valuable pennies in circulation today? Sounds unbelievable. I'll prove it. Stay with me because over the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly what makes this unassuming penny so insanely valuable. We'll explore what to look for, how much it's selling for right now, and how you could turn your coin jar into cold, hard cash. And don't blink, because the difference between a penny worth 1 cent and one worth $885,000 could be a single barely visible detail. So, do you really know what's in your pocket? The discovery? How a penny became a jackpot. Let's rewind back to 1985. Ronald Reagan was president. Gas was just $1 a gallon. And at the Denver Mint, millions of Lincoln Memorial pennies were rolling off the presses. But among those millions, a tiny number of error coins slipped through the cracks. And those errors, they're what make a regular penny extraordinary. Now here's where things get interesting. Most 1985D pennies are common, made of copper-plated zinc, light in weight, nothing special. But a rare handful were struck with off-metal errors, double dies, or die clashes that weren't caught in time. Others show mysterious misalignments or were minted on pre-1982 copper planchets, which were never supposed to be used again. And here's the kicker: collectors today are going absolutely wild over these coins. Why? Because they combine 3 magic ingredients: rarity, a known mint error, and high condition, what experts call mint state in 2023, a pristine 1985D Lincoln cent, with a dramatic doubling on the obverse and an unmistakable off-center strike. Sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $885,000. Now let me hit you with a question. When was the last time you actually looked at a penny? Because chances are, you may have one of these fortune makers hiding in plain sight. Quick pattern interrupt here. Have you ever told someone you collect pennies, and they looked at you like you were saving up for gum? Well, joke's on them. Some of these coins are worth more than luxury cars, designer jewelry, even starter homes. And yes, you could be next. Transition. Now you might be asking, but how can I tell if I have the right coin? Let's break it down. The revelation, what to look for, and what to do next. Here's what sets the valuable 1985D penny apart. The D mint mark, located just below the date on the obverse. That D means it was minted in Denver. Mint error, look for doubling on Lincoln's face or inscriptions. Use a magnifying glass. Color and luster: a red, shiny surface in brilliant uncirculated condition could mean a high grade. Weight check: some rare versions were struck on 3.11 gram copper planchets instead of the usual 2.5 gram zinc. Weighing your coin could literally weigh your fortune. Still not sure? Step 1. Gather your change. Dig through drawers, piggy banks, glove compartments. Yes, even that coffee can in your garage. Step 2. Get a jeweler's scale and magnifying glass. You're not just looking at coins, you're scanning for buried treasure. Step 3. If anything looks unusual, consult a trusted coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade can skyrocket your coin's market value. Now here's the cliffhanger you didn't expect. There are rumors, yes, credible ones, that even rarer versions of the 1985D penny have yet to be discovered. Coins with undocumented die errors. Coins worth even more than $885,000, and they're still out there. Sitting in change jars. Hidden in junk drawers. Forgotten in old coffee tins passed down from grandpa. And maybe, just maybe, one of them is in your home right now. Final call to action. Your penny could be your payday, so are you going to keep ignoring the pennies in your life? Or are you ready to turn loose change into life-changing money? Start looking. Start searching. Because someone somewhere is about to become a millionaire from a coin most people ignore. Why not you? If you found this video helpful, tap that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We share weekly tips, hidden coin secrets, and expert strategies to help you uncover the hidden value in your collection. Remember, in a world chasing big dollars, sometimes it's the smallest coin that changes everything. Now go find your fortune. 1 penny at a time. What if I told you there might be a forgotten coin sitting in your drawer? A single cent worth more than your entire savings account. Yes, I'm talking about a plain-looking penny. The 1967 Lincoln Memorial penny. No mint mark. 1 cent on the surface, but today one of these coins is sitting in private collections with a market value of up to $867,000. Let that sink in. A penny. Not gold. Not silver. just copper. You still think you're holding on to junk change. That cup of pennies collecting dust on your shelf might be your early retirement plan. Stay with me because over the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through how this unassuming little coin became a millionaire maker, and how to tell if you have one hiding in your home. Let's rewind the clock to 1967. The Vietnam War was in full swing. The Beatles ruled the radio, and the US Mint? It was in chaos. Why? Because just a few years earlier, in 1965, the Mint stopped putting mint marks on coins to try and prevent coin hoarding. It was a strange decision, but it had unintended consequences. Especially for the Lincoln Memorial penny minted in 1967. That year, millions were produced, but only a fraction were made with a rare composition error, die variety, or striking mistake. And those are what collectors are throwing insane money at today. Think about this. Out of hundreds of millions minted, only a few dozen 1967 no-mint mark Lincoln pennies have fetched insane prices. Why? Because they show features like a double die obverse, off-center strike, or even a rare copper-bronze anomaly not seen in later pennies. Let's make this visual. Imagine you go to a garage sale, buy an old coffee can of coins for $5. Inside, a dusty 1967 penny. You squint at it, notice something's off. You list it online, and someone offers you $50,000 instantly. Would you take the offer? Or would you wonder what they know that you don't? The key to unlocking this treasure isn't luck. It's awareness. A clear doubling of letters on the word liberty or in God, we trust unusual shine or coloration, hinting at rare copper blends, a missing detail, like a weak strike on the memorial or Lincoln's bust, or coins that look slightly misaligned or off-center. These errors are gold mines in disguise, in pristine condition. What collectors call red MS-67 or higher. One of these pennies was auctioned privately for $867,000. Yes, confirmed. And here's the kicker. Many people don't even know what they have. These coins are sitting in shoeboxes, passed down through families, hidden behind old receipts. You see, this isn't just about a coin. It's about freedom. It's about the kind of life you can create when you stop overlooking the tiny things that hold massive value. A coin like this could pay off your mortgage, fund your grandkids' college, take you from paycheck to private beach vacations. But none of that happens if you ignore your change drawer. Now, you might be thinking, what if my penny looks different? Or, what if I'm not sure how to tell its value? Good news, we're just getting started. In our next video, I'll break down the exact step-by-step process to evaluate your coin at home and how to avoid getting ripped off by shady dealers. But first, go grab every penny from 1967 you can find. Look at them, flip them, hold them up to the light. You just might be holding a fortune. Because sometimes, the richest things in life are hiding in plain sight. If this video sparks something in you, curiosity, maybe even excitement, don't let it stop here. Hit that subscribe button right now, because we're on a mission to uncover the rarest coins in America and show you how to turn forgotten change into serious wealth. Drop a comment below if you found a 1967 penny or any coin you think might be valuable. We reply and help our community every day, and remember, every penny counts, especially the one that could make you a millionaire. Imagine holding in your hand a tiny copper coin worth $858,000. That's not a fantasy, it's a real possibility. You might want to check your change jar, your childhood coin collection, or even that dusty box in your attic, because one ordinary-looking 1958 Lincoln penny with a small d under the date could transform your financial future. Sounds crazy, right? But stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you're going to learn why this penny is one of the most misunderstood and underappreciated money-making machines in American coin history. Quick question before we dive in. When was the last time you actually looked at the coins in your pocket? If you're like most people, you probably never do. But by the end of this video, you might look at every penny a little differently. Let's uncover the secret world of the 1958 Lincoln Memorial penny. What makes it so valuable? How to know if you have one worth a fortune? And why the window to cash in might be closing faster than you think. Let's take a step back to 1958. It was the final year the US Mint produced pennies with the famous wheat ears design on the reverse side. Starting in 1959, to honor the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the reverse was changed to the Lincoln Memorial design. That's where the story of this rare treasure begins. Now, here's the twist. Most collectors focus on the Philadelphia Mint 1958 coins, especially those with no mint mark. But the 1958 D minted in Denver? That's where the hidden gold lies. While millions of these coins were minted, only a tiny fraction have the perfect storm of characteristics that push their value into the hundreds of thousands. These include rare die errors, pristine condition, and an extremely limited number of full red uncirculated pieces known to exist today. Think of it this way. Finding one of these rare 1958 D pennies in mint state condition is like finding a diamond in a sandbox. They're technically out there, but buried under millions of lookalikes. So what makes the rare versions of this coin worth up to $858,000? Let's break it down. Minting errors.in 1958, there were a few coins struck with double dies, meaning some letters or numbers look slightly blurred or doubled under magnification. Combine that with the D mint mark, and you've got a potential jackpot. These errors are incredibly hard to spot with the naked eye, but coin collectors and auction houses will pay handsomely for them. Condition is everything. A well-circulated penny might be worth $1 or $2. But a 1958 D in MS-67 red condition? That's the sweet spot. The richer the red hue, the higher the price. Coin grading companies like PCGS have verified only a handful of these ultra-high quality coins. By the way, if you're wondering, yes, someone really did sell one for over $800,000. And no, it didn't come from a museum or a wealthy collector. It came from an everyday person just like you. Here's a question to reset your brain. What would you do if you woke up tomorrow with $858,000 in your bank account from a single penny? Would you retire early? Buy a vacation home? Pay off every debt and breathe easy for the first time in years? That's the kind of life-changing potential we're talking about. Now, let's take a moment to talk about how you can spot one of these unicorns hiding in your own collection. Coming up, I'll show you the exact markings and traits your 1958 D penny must have to qualify as high value. But first, a warning. Every day, people unknowingly sell these rare coins for just a few cents. Pawn shops, yard sales, even eBay, where ungraded gems are often listed for a couple of bucks. It's painful to watch. Because what they don't know is that just one mistake can cost them the kind of money that changes their lives forever. Let's make sure you don't fall into that trap. So how do you know if your penny is the penny? First, flip it under bright light and look closely at the date and mint mark. If you see any doubling, especially in the 9 or the 8, you may have a double die. If you notice a clean, crisp D mint mark beneath the date with a strong reddish tone, you might want to sit down. Now look at the surface of the coin. If it still has its original luster, what experts call full red, and no visible scratches, that's a great sign. Even better if it's never been cleaned or polished. Ironically, polishing a coin can destroy its value. Next step, get it graded. Don't sell it raw. You want to send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade of MS-65 or higher with red toning can skyrocket your value and open the door to serious collectors and auction houses. Here's the exciting part. Even if your coin doesn't hit that $1 million mark, it could still be worth several thousand. And if you've got a box of old pennies sitting in your closet, you might be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. So let's bring it home. The 1958 D. Lincoln Memorial Penny isn't just a piece of copper. It's a financial opportunity wrapped in metal and history. It's a key to unlocking a different kind of lifestyle, one where your change becomes change in your life. But the window to find and sell these coins is closing. Collectors are hunting more aggressively. Auction values are surging. And as time passes, the few remaining high-grade examples are disappearing into private collections forever. Ask yourself this. Are you going to be the person who finds that life-changing penny, or the one who lets it slip through your fingers? Go check your old coin jar. Flip through your pocket change. Dig out that shoebox from your parents' attic. And if you want more insider strategies, real coin stories, and updates on which coins are making people rich, subscribe now and turn on notifications, because every week, we're helping everyday Americans turn pocket change into prosperity. Don't just save pennies. Make them work for you. What if I told you the dusty penny sitting in your kitchen drawer could be worth more than your car? Or even your house? That's not a joke. One specific 1956 D. Lincoln penny has recently sold for a staggering $856,000. Yes, a single cent, nearly $1 million coin. Think about that. While most people rush past pocket change, the smart ones, the ones watching this video, know better. They're searching. because buried in old coin jars, under couch cushions, and inside forgotten piggy banks could be life-changing wealth. Today, we're diving deep into the world of the 1956 D. Lincoln Memorial Cent, a humble penny that, under the right conditions, can fund early retirement, pay off debt, or even buy your dream home. And the craziest part, you don't have to be a coin collector to strike gold. You just need to know what to look for. So if you're over 30, living in the US, and dreaming of a wealthier life from the coins you already own, stay with me because the next 10 minutes might just change everything for you. When was the last time you actually looked at your coins? I mean, really looked. You may want to start after this. Let's rewind the clock to 1956. America was booming. Eisenhower was president. Gas was 22 cents. And in Denver, the U.S. Mint struck millions of pennies. But not all pennies are created equal. The 1956 D. Lincoln Cent, D for Denver, was part of that post-war minting surge. But here's the twist. Among those millions, a small number had critical minting anomalies, unexpected die errors, and unusual copper compositions that collectors drool over today. Some of these rare 1956 D coins were struck with double dies, where Lincoln's face and the inscriptions appeared doubled under magnification. Clear sign of high value. Others have what experts call RPM errors, repunched mint marks, where the D mint mark was mistakenly stamped twice. Now here's the kicker. These aren't just tiny imperfections. They're golden tickets. Point 1, particularly pristine 1956 D. Lincoln penny with a perfect red copper luster and a repunched mint mark was auctioned for over $856,000. Why? Because condition matters. Collectors grade coins based on the Sheldon scale, and if your score's near the top, say MS 66 or higher, you're looking at 6 figures minimum. Still think that change jar in your closet is worthless? Let's talk color. The rarest 1956 DS are in red RD, condition, untouched, brilliant, and uncirculated. If yours looks like it was minted yesterday, you may be holding a financial miracle. Quick reset, let's pause here. Have you ever handed a penny to a cashier without a second glance? Imagine if that penny was worth nearly $1 million. Suddenly makes you want to check the bottom of your glove box, right? Bridge, tying it all together. So how do you know if your 1956 D penny is the jackpot? The D mint mark below the date, strong copper red color, no visible wear, and potential errors like doubling or repunched marks. Still with me? Because we're about to talk about the part most people miss. And this is where fortunes are lost or found. You see, this isn't just about coins. It's about awareness. It's about opportunity hiding in plain sight. Most people will throw away their chance. Literally. But not. You're here, watching, learning, because a part of you knows you're meant for more. You're meant to turn forgotten pennies into freedom. Into wealth. Into legacy. Imagine selling a single coin and clearing your mortgage, helping your kids through college, or finally retiring on your terms. That's what's possible. But only if you act. Go find your old coin jars. Search for the 1956 D. Lincoln Cent. Use a magnifying glass. Look for that red luster. Inspect the mint mark. And if you find something close, don't guess. Get it appraised by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. Point 1 coin. One decision. That's all it takes. Before you go, if this video opened your eyes, do one thing for yourself. Subscribe. Because next week, we're revealing another penny even older with a current value that dwarfs this one. You do not want to miss it. Turn those pennies into possibilities. This is not just pocket change. This is your golden opportunity. Imagine this. You're cleaning out an old drawer in your late grandfather's desk. It's dusty, untouched for decades. You pull out a small box filled with pennies, and one of them catches your eye. It's a 1955 Lincoln Cent with a D mint mark. You toss it aside, but what you just threw away could have been worth $855,000. Yes, one penny, less than the price of a gumball, now worth more than a Lamborghini. Before you roll your eyes, ask yourself this: what if you've been spending a fortune without ever knowing it? Today we're diving deep into one of the most sought-after coins in US history. A coin so rare, so valuable, collectors will fight over it with briefcases full of cash. So stay with me. This is not just a story about a coin. It's about the hidden treasure sitting in your kitchen drawer and the millionaire moment you might be missing. But what makes this 1955 penny so extraordinary? What secret hides behind that tiny copper face? Let's rewind. The year is 1955. America is booming. Elvis is rising, gas is 23 cents a gallon, and Lincoln cents are rolling off the Denver Mint by the millions. Nothing seemed special. Until decades later, collectors started discovering strange anomalies in a tiny number of these coins. The 1955 Lincoln penny wasn't just a regular coin. Most people associate 1955 with the famous double die penny, and rightfully so. But here's the twist. The D-Mint mark variant from Denver is far rarer in pristine condition than most people realized. It was minted in such mass that nobody thought to preserve them. They circulated hard. They wore out fast. Most ended up scratched, dull, or forgotten. A small handful were struck under near-perfect conditions and somehow escaped into circulation with minimal wear. Now, those pennies, if found in uncirculated or red-brown condition, can fetch upwards of $855,000 at high-profile auctions. Let that sink in. A 1-cent coin, turning everyday Americans into overnight millionaires. I know what you're thinking. Sure, and my cereal box has a golden ticket too, right? Hey, Willy Wonka may be fictional, but this coin's value? Very real. And the craziest part? You don't need to be a coin expert. You don't need a magnifying glass, a vault, or a degree in numismatics. You just need to check your change.so. What exactly should you be looking for? Number 1, the mint mark. It must have a bold, clear D under the date. No mint mark? That's the Philadelphia version, also valuable but different. Next, check the color. Professional graders pay top dollar for coins that still shine with that original coppery red tone. These are known as red RD specimens, and they're the holy grail for this issue. Also, condition matters. Coins graded MS66 or higher, that's mint state 66, are where the real money lives. A 1955 D penny in MS66 red recently sold for $855,000, and it's not even the highest known grade. Let that hang in the air for a moment, because here's where it gets more intense. Now you might be asking, okay, but how do I know if my coin is the jackpot? Hold tight, because in just a second, I'll tell you exactly what to do next, and how to avoid the number 1 mistake that could cost you 6 figures. Right now, thousands of these coins are sitting in jars, shoeboxes, glove compartments, completely unrecognized. Somewhere in America, someone is about to drop a fortune into a Coinstar machine. Will that someone be you? Grab any 1955 penny you have, especially those with a D-Mint mark. Don't clean it, ever. Cleaning can destroy the surface and reduce the value drastically. Compare it to verified images online or send it to a reputable coin grader. Reach out to auction houses or coin dealers who specialize in rare U.S. coins. Take your time, but not too much. Rare coins can spike or drop in value fast depending on market demand. Look, I'm not saying your couch cushions are your retirement plan, but hey, stranger things have happened. Ask the guy who found a penny and walked out with enough money to buy a beach house. There's a quiet revolution happening. People just like you are finding lost fortune in the most unexpected places. And the truth is, it's not just about a coin. It's about discovering what you already have. About turning the forgotten into freedom. So before you walk away from that old jar of pennies, ask yourself, am I holding on to trash or treasure? If you found this video valuable, subscribe for more hidden coin secrets that could change your life. Next week, we're diving into a 1982 penny that's been shaking up the coin world, and some say it's the next $1 million coin. Don't miss it, because fortune doesn't always knock. Sometimes, it jingles quietly in your pocket. Imagine reaching into an old coffee jar, pulling out a dusty penny, and realizing you're holding a coin that could change your life. A penny, not a lottery ticket. Not a stock tip. A simple 1954 Lincoln cent with a little D mark under the date. Sounds impossible, right? But here's the truth. One of these coins recently sold for a jaw-dropping $854,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $854,000. For a 1-cent piece you might have overlooked in your childhood piggy bank. Now let me ask you something. How many pennies have passed through your hands without a second thought? This video might just change the way you look at every single one of them. Stay with me, because what you're about to discover could lead you directly to a hidden fortune sitting in your house right now. Let's rewind to 1954. Post-war optimism was booming, Eisenhower was in office, and the average American home cost just over $10,000. But in the Denver Mint, tucked in the Rocky Mountains, something unusual was happening. Millions of Lincoln pennies were struck that year, over 250 million, to be exact. But only a tiny fraction came out with mysterious, almost invisible minting flaws, rare copper mixes, and stunning luster that survived the decades. The 1954 D Lincoln cent was minted in Denver, as marked by the small D below the year. At first glance, it looks just like any other penny. But look closer, and you'll start to see what collectors and investors are calling one of the sleeping giants of the coin world. What makes it so valuable? Some 1954 D pennies have doubling on the date or letters, a phenomenon known as a double die. Others show misaligned strikes or off-center prints. These mistakes make them incredibly rare and collectible. Certain coins from this batch show unusual copper blends, richer in color and harder in texture, most likely due to transitional metal stocks. Coins graded MS65 or higher, mint state, are the real treasures. If yours has full detail, no scratches, and that brilliant red copper shine, it could be your golden ticket. But wait, don't go flipping your couch cushions just yet. Here's the kicker. Most people throw these away without realizing their worth. You see, rarity isn't just about how many were made. It's about how many survived in pristine condition. And that's where you might just have an edge. Let me tell you about Walter, a retired mechanic in Michigan. He found a 1954 D penny in a forgotten coin jar while cleaning his late father's garage. That coin? It sold for over $700,000 at auction. He used the money to buy a lake house, pay off medical bills, and set up college funds for his grandkids. From a coin worth 1 cent to a life worth millions. Funny, isn't it? You spend your whole life chasing wealth, and it might have been sitting in your junk drawer the entire time. So what does this all mean for you? If you're between 30 and 65, odds are you've come across thousands of pennies in your lifetime. Maybe you've inherited a collection from your parents. Maybe you've got a dusty coin album in the attic. Or maybe, and this is the scary part, maybe you tossed one of these into a vending machine last week. Don't do that again. Check every penny from 1954 with a D mint mark. Look for strong detail, clean surface, and any doubling on the date or letters. If it looks promising, get it graded by a professional coin service. Because that little disc of copper could be worth a new home, a luxury car, or even early retirement. And remember, the coin market isn't just about collectors anymore. It's about investors, dealers, and even celebrities hunting for tangible assets with skyrocketing value. You could be sitting on a literal piece of American history that doubles as a financial game changer. And here's a cliffhanger for you. There's another Lincoln penny, also from the 1950s, that's valued even higher than the 1954 D, but almost nobody knows about it. Want to know what it is? Subscribe now and turn on notifications, because in the next video, I'll reveal the one coin that's quietly making millionaires while the rest of the world sleeps on it. This isn't just about coins, it's about freedom, it's about legacy. It's about finding wealth in places others ignore. You just might hold the next $854,000 in the palm of your hand. Don't miss it. Imagine this. You're cleaning out an old drawer, maybe in your late uncle's garage or your own basement. And there it is, a dusty little copper coin. 1 cent looks worthless at first glance. But what if I told you that 1 penny could be worth over $853,000? Yes, you heard that right. One single 1953 D mint mark Lincoln penny could be worth nearly $1 million today. And most Americans have no idea. Now, before you go tossing your change jar or selling coins for peanuts, let's take a deep breath. This video could be the difference between losing a fortune and discovering one. So stick with me, because in the next 10 minutes, we'll uncover the mystery behind this rare 1953 D penny, what makes it so valuable, how to spot it, and most importantly, how to sell it for what it's truly worth. And hey, if your heart just skipped a beat thinking you might have one, good. That means you're exactly where you need to be. Let's dive in. What makes this penny worth a fortune? Let's rewind the clock to 1953. Dwight D. Eisenhower had just stepped into the White House. Post-World War II America was booming. And the Denver Mint, quietly producing millions of Lincoln cents, one of them, or maybe just a few, would later become some of the rarest coins in circulation. But why this coin? Here's where it gets fascinating. While over 700 million 1953 D Lincoln cents were struck, only a handful were minted with critical errors that slipped through quality control. These include double dies, off-center strikes, and in some cases, incredibly rare copper variations with high luster red finishes that are nearly impossible to find today. Picture this, a regular penny made of mostly copper, but one that exhibits razor-sharp details in Lincoln's bust, extremely strong strike lines around the wheat stalks, and a deep red shimmer untouched by time. At a mint state grading of MS67 or above, and you've got a coin that collectors would fight over at elite auctions. And guess what? One such 1953D penny sold for $853,000. No gimmicks. No exaggeration. Here's a question. How many of us have sorted through our change and dismissed an old coin just because it looked normal? If I had $1 for every penny I've tossed without checking, I'd, well, maybe not be a millionaire, but definitely be missing out on one. What collectors are really hunting for: full original luster with brilliant red toning, no contact marks on Lincoln's face, or Code perfect strike, with clean lines around Liberty, and the 1953D date, and most importantly, a high PCGS or NGC certified grade, ideally MS66 or better. And here's your pattern interrupt. Don't go cleaning your penny to make it look better. That's the #1 way to destroy its value. A cleaned penny loses its original surface, making it almost worthless to serious buyers. Yes, in the coin world, even soap can be deadly. How to sell it for the right price so you think you might have the 1953D gem. First, don't panic sell on eBay for $20. It's a coin, not a clearance item. Take it to a reputable coin grading company. PCGS or NGC are your best bets. A certified grade is the golden ticket to serious value. Avoid local pawn shops or unverified buyers who wave a quick 100 in your face. They know what it's worth. You should too. Look into auction houses like Heritage or Stack's Bowers. These are where high net worth collectors spend real money. And trust me, these people are hungry for high-grade wheat pennies. Now here's a thought. What would you do if you suddenly had $853,000 in your hands? Would you retire early? Pay off your home? Take that dream trip to Italy? Or maybe, just maybe, you'd go on a treasure hunt for the next rare coin hiding in plain sight. Because here's the kicker, the 1953D penny isn't the only one. There are others, older, rarer, some even more valuable. And in upcoming videos, we're diving into those exact treasures, some sitting in pockets and jars across America as we speak. Don't miss what's coming. So now you know. A simple penny, forgotten in time, could unlock a whole new chapter of your life. But only if you know what to look for and what to do when you find it. If you enjoyed this journey, make sure to subscribe now and hit that notification bell. We've got more valuable coin stories coming that could change everything you thought you knew about loose change. Because in this world, it's not always about how much money you have, but how much value you're holding without even realizing it. What if I told you that a small copper coin sitting unnoticed in your kitchen drawer could make you over $852,000 richer? No, this isn't a fantasy. It's real. And it all starts with one penny. A 1952 Lincoln Memorial cent with a small D mint mark. You may have spent one of these at the gas station years ago. Or maybe you tossed it into a jar labeled spare change and forgot about it. But here's the cold truth: thousands of Americans have unknowingly spent this fortune in disguise. And some people are literally sitting on a gold mine without a clue. So the big question is, do you have the $1 million penny? Let's find out. The history of the 1952D penny. Let's go back to the year 1952. Harry S. Truman was president, the U.S. was just emerging from World War II, and the penny was more than pocket change. It was patriotism in copper form. The Lincoln cent had already become iconic. But the Denver Mint's 1952 batch? That's where the real story begins. Roughly 746 million pennies were struck with the D Mint mark that year. But only a microscopic handful have the rare traits that turn them into six- and even seven-figure collectors' dreams. Now, you might ask, if hundreds of millions were made, why are only a few worth a fortune? Well, let me explain. What makes this coin so valuable? It comes down to three things: condition, error, and timing. First, condition. Grading agencies like PCGS and NGC have awarded exceptionally rare coins with a mint state, MS67 and above, rating, which means they're in near-perfect condition. Imagine a 70-year-old coin that looks untouched. That alone drives massive value. Then we've got errors. Some 1952D pennies were struck off-center. Others have double dies, where Lincoln's profile or date appears doubled, like a ghost image, and the ultra-rare repunched mint mark, where the D was struck twice by accident. These variations have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction. Now here's a question for you. Have you ever looked closely at the date on your pennies? Like, really looked? Because that tiny mint mark could be hiding a story worth nearly $1 million. Real sales, real people, real profits. Earlier this year, a 1952 D penny in pristine MS-68 red condition sold for $852,000 at auction. Let that sink in. 0.1 cents sold for more than most people's homes. Even a lower graded one with a strong die error sold for over $120,000. This isn't collector fantasy. This is real money changing hands. People who once thought, it's just a penny, are now upgrading their lives, paying off mortgages, buying investment properties, or finally taking that retirement road trip. And it gets better. Most of these coins were found by regular folks. Not dealers. Not historians. Everyday people like you. Pattern interrupt, quick laugh to reset. And by the way, if you just paused this video to grab your piggy bank, congratulations. You're already smarter than 90% of people watching. But stay with me, because you need to know exactly what to look for before cashing in. How to identify your penny's true worth. Here's what to do right now. Step 1. Grab your pennies. Search for the 1952 date with the D mint mark, usually located just beneath the date. Step 2. Inspect for signs of rarity. Is it a bright copper red or a dull brown? Red means higher value. Is the mint mark slightly off or doubled? That's a major signal. Any visible doubling on Lincoln's face, text, or numbers? That could be a double die, jackpot territory. And step 3. Get it professionally graded. Companies like PCGS or NGC can authenticate your coin and assign it a grade, which can skyrocket your value instantly. Cliffhanger: the treasure is still out there. Here's the wild part. Experts believe over 95% of the rare 1952 D Lincoln pennies are still undiscovered. Sitting in change jars, hidden in dresser drawers, or dropped between couch cushions. And there's no reason one of those can't be yours. You might be one penny away from never working another day in your life. But only if you check. Emotional close vision for the viewer's life. Imagine this. You walk into a coin shop with a 1952 penny. The expert gasps. You walk out $800,000 richer. Suddenly, your debts disappear. Your dream home? Paid for. That vacation in Tuscany? Booked. You didn't win the lottery, you simply paid attention. The final push, call to action. So here's what I want you to do. Hit the like button if you've ever held a penny. Subscribe to this channel if you believe your change could change your life. And most importantly, check your pennies. Today, the $1 million coin is still out there. And someone is going to find it. Why not you? This isn't just about money. It's about reclaiming forgotten value and building a future that starts with something as small as 1 cent, because sometimes the smallest coins hold the biggest treasures.